Hello everyone, Silently here and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Today I'll be showing you 17 bugs in 1.17 that will probably change how you play. Either nice things that completely change and revolutionize the things that you do, tips and tricks that you can't use, or bugs that affect various different Bedrock Edition farms. There is a lot in today's video and oh, so many more bugs in the 1.17 update. So first up, I have a very interesting little bug slash mechanic with potions and cauldrons that allows you to upgrade your potions without any brewing at all. So we're going to take 2 night vision potions of 3 minutes and put them into this cauldron, and then we're going to put in a splash potion of night vision of the short duration in there as well. So that is a total of 3 potions within that cauldron, and now we're going to empty out that cauldron using some bottles, and as you can see, it's converted our 2 basic potions into 2 more splash potions. You can do this with any potion in the game. You can upgrade it even to a lingering potion without any additional brewing. So typically when you try to combine different types of potions in a cauldron, it will simply explode into a puff of smoke, which is intended. However, as long as you have the same kind of duration and strength of a potion, you can combine them in a cauldron just fine. So we can take 2 strength 2 potions and then put in a strength 2 lingering potion, and now we can get out ourselves 3 lingering strength 2 potions without any additional brewing. So it's a really convenient thing that you can take advantage of pretty significantly. So basically, if you need to make a lot of lingering or splash potions, this bug slash mechanic is definitely the way to go. It'll save you a lot of brewing and it'll save you a lot of ingredients as well. If you like copper as much as I do and you live in the nether like I do, this one almost certainly affects you. Copper does not oxidize in the nether at all. You can leave this stuff out for as long as you want and it will never ever oxidize. So just for demonstration, like the world is currently on random tick speed 3000, so it's literally trying to oxidize these things 3000 times faster than normal, and I've been sitting here for several minutes. After about a minute of this in the overworld, all of these would be fully oxidized. So yeah, they're just basically never going to oxidize in the nether. This next one affects an entirely niche type of farm, and that is a cat GIF farm. So if you are a fan of cats and you sleep near them often, sometimes they will come sleep on the bed with you, which is really adorable, and they'll like purr and stuff. But when you wake up in the morning, they will sometimes gift you random items from mobs. So you can get like string and rabbit's foots and feathers and several other types of things that you can see on screen. The thing about Bedrock Edition is you can only ever receive a single item in total, even if you have like multiple cats sleeping on the same bed with you. So no matter how many cats you have, you'll only ever get 1 item in the morning. Whereas on Java Edition, you get 1 item per cat. So if you got 100 cats, you'll get 100 different random loot items, which is kind of convenient and a really fun little mechanic, although it does kind of encourage you to become a crazy cat lady, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. But also, I like my drops. Another pretty interesting bug is the fact that comparators can read through chains just like a solid block, and they can actually detect things in an inventory. As you can see, it's just reading through that chain, and without it, it doesn't get any signal, and the chain works in any orientation. It's actually really quite the strange bug, but it does have a little bit of potential for various different redstone signals, especially because you can waterlog chains, and you can also kind of use these in some water streams as well to make some fairly interesting, albeit complicated water streams, and this does have some sort of potential. If you do a lot of redstone and super flat worlds, then this bug might actually affect you quite a bit. So if you are down at the very bottom of the world, which is, you know, only 3 blocks down, then you may have some issues with sticky pistons not retracting blocks. So this only affects sticky pistons that are facing upwards, and for some reason, any sticky piston that is at Y level 1 cannot retract a block that is above it. As you can see, it just doesn't happen. Now, these are perfectly fine when they are facing any other direction, even downwards, but as soon as you face them upwards, they simply cannot grab that block. And it only affects Y level 1 as well. As you can see, 2 and 3 and 4 and all the other ways going all the way up, those all work perfectly fine. It's super strange, so keep this in mind if you're building in a super flat world. Candles candles have some really, really weird things that you can place on them, and honestly, it just adds so much more fun to the block that is candles. So you can place like torches on the sides and on the tops of them. If you want to, you can put a dripstone underneath them or on top of them as well, and you are not limited to just that. There is an entire array of things that can be placed on top of candles, such as doors and carpets and torches and lanterns and redstone and bells and rails and coral fans and lichens and tripwires and repeaters and carpets and levers and buttons and scaffoldings and drip leaf and the drip stone and all kinds of things. It's honestly ridiculous, but it opens up a ton of different cool things that you can do, a bunch of different cursed items that you can have, and loads of decoration options. You can kind of sort of place paintings on them. As you can see, it makes the noise, but nothing actually shows up. A really disappointing bug, especially considering that October is coming up, is you cannot dispense cursed pumpkins or any form of carved pumpkin onto the player's head. It just goes to the inventory. A smaller issue that has some small effects on your day-to-day gameplay is crops do not pop off when in absolute darkness. We're in a little box underground and there's no light in here whatsoever, and as you can see, if we update these crops by placing a block next to them, nothing happens. They should pop off as an item and basically get destroyed. However, that is not a thing that exists. If we had this mechanic, we would be able to design a bunch of different micro farms, a bunch of different villager-powered crop farms, and overall, this opens the door to a lot of different possibilities. This feature was added to Java Edition quite some time ago. It just simply has not been added to Bedrock Edition. I'm not sure if this one's entirely buggy or if it's just a weird feature of Bedrock Edition. However, you know how you can like lead an animal or various other things and then tie that to a fence? Well, you can actually tie things to walls as well, but it's a little bit different. So you need to lead the animal, and then you can't just click on the wall with an empty hand. You need to actually click on the wall with another lead in order for it to be tied to it. And as you can see, you can't actually see the knot of the lead like you can on a fence. And it seems a little bit backwards that you need to click on it with a lead, but of course this does also work in survival mode as well. We can get rid of that lead, click on this guy with a lead, click on that with a lead, and bam, and now you can use walls instead of fences. There's a bug that can delete your tridents as you're going through a nether portal, and how this happens is you need to be in the throwing trident animation, so holding the trident above your head. As soon as you go through the nether portal, you'll hear the trident throw sound, but the trident is absolutely nowhere to be found. We can try running a kill command to see if there's any tridents, and as you can see, no targets match selector. Basically, your trident just gets entirely deleted. There's quite a staggering number of placement issues with lanterns and soul lanterns. For example, you can't place them on the bottoms of any of these blocks or on the tops of any of the trapdoors. You can't place them on top of anvils. However, you can hang them from lightning rods. Lightning rods kind of have their own entire set of issues, however, so that's kind of a separate bug. You can hang them from the sides of chains, which is another bug, and you can't hang them from the appropriate sides of end rods, either the top or the bottom. There's a lot more examples. You can see so much more details on the bug report, but yeah, this really affects a lot of different decoration ideas. This is one that you may have noticed but not realized was a bug. Riptide underwater is honestly a pretty decent way of travel. As you can see, it can send you quite far in a single throw. However, if you're wearing any form of depth strider boots, the distance you can Riptide is significantly decreased, which is very, very counterintuitive. You can only go about like 10 or so blocks if you're wearing Depth Strider 3, but if you take off your Depth Strider, you can go so much further, and it's a much smoother experience. Vast amounts of chests in your world can cause a pretty significant amount of lag. Now, you need like a truly insane amount of chests. However, the less powerful your device, of course, the less chests you need to start getting frame drops. So this is a 10 by 10 cube of chests. As you can see on my computer, I'm getting 94, 95 frames per second, using Foxy's resource pack to tell you the frames. Now over here we have a 20 by 20 cube of chests, which is 8 times as many if I can do the quick math, and as you can see that takes me down to 30 frames per second. So you truly do need like an insane amount of chests, but the point stands that chests in your world do cause a little bit of lag. Now, something fun that I discovered with this is I can actually crash Minecraft pretty much instantly just by summoning a 30 by 30 cube of chests, and it's really quite fun. You can only get to about here before it crashes. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if we can actually fill in an entire cube of chests. I have the command copy pasted because I'm a big brain, and that should fill in quite a few behind us. Now, because it's not on screen, it's not causing any lag. So let's try looking at this bit by bit, and we'll see how this affects our frames. We're already down to 40. Oh, 30 frames, going up a little bit. That's 20. Oh, so many chests. It's a 30 by 30 cube. Yeah, once you get down to about 12 frames, it just instantly crashes. Now, I will say, this looks pretty awesome. A bug that you probably don't know about is the fact that running doesn't use any hunger at all. You can run literally thousands of blocks. I've ran 2,800 blocks in this Minecraft world. I've never eaten anything. I've never taken even a single bit of hunger, and the world is on hard difficulty as well, so it's not like peaceful or anything messing with it. Honestly, a rather convenient little thing that you can definitely take advantage of. You can run everywhere, never have to eat, and just make sure that you don't like run jump. Run jump obviously uses a lot of hunger, but just flat out running, that is perfectly fine. There's a bit of a bug when it comes to beds and scaffolding. If you place a bed on scaffolding, you can't sleep in it at all. It just says the bed is obstructed, meaning that you can't have nice scaffolding houses. Yeah. Another bug you might not notice until it's pointed out to you is that the soul speed enchantment on soul sand or soul soil does not work if there is slabs above the soul soil. As you can see, we're not getting any additional speed, and we're not getting any of the sweet little skull particles. Now, if we head over to Java Edition real quick, you can see that this does actually work. As you can see, we got soul speed, and then it also works on top of these slabs as well. We can go extra speedy. This just allows you to have a lot nicer decorations in your nether tunnels while also getting the speed benefit of soul speed. Combine this with the earlier bug in today's episode of not taking any hunger while sprinting, and you have a pretty nice form of transportation. So those are 17 bugs in 1.17 that probably affect how you play a Bedrock Edition. If you want to see a bunch of other 1.17 bugs, I have an entire playlist of these Bugrock episodes. I've probably covered about 100 or so bugs for the Caves and Cliffs update, so check out the previous episodes if you feel like it. Otherwise, that's it for today's episode. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you're new here, then consider subscribing, or maybe just leave a like on the video, as it helps out the video and the channel a ton. I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again for watching, and then there was silence.